You want to talk about the Slumdog Millionaire kids going back to Mumbai?
Yeah, this is kind of disastrous. I mean, look, they live in the slums, right? And they got real kids out of the slums to play the actors. Now there's a lot of madness. So the kids spent 5 days here in America, went to the Oscars, got dressed up in their nice outfits, and then went to Disneyland, and then they went back home, right? And that's a picture of one of them from home. And that kid right there said, "Oh my God, now that I've seen America, I got to get out of here." He's like, we sleep on the floor, and our life here sucks. It turns out the rest of the world is living in luxury. Now, it's not really the rest of the world. Of course, he's a little kid, but in America, yeah, we do, right? And we don't. And a lot of us don't appreciate it nearly enough. And then the authorities found out that that kid was living illegally in this part of the slum, so they're going to destroy his house. And they found out, and they say it, they found out because of the movie and all the extra publicity and coverage around it. So now he's going to lose his home, too, on top of it. Mm-hmm. And then he got really sick. The little girl, she's been in the same dress as the Oscars since the Oscars.
Ugh.
She said, you know, she felt like a princess, and it was like the greatest moment in her life, and she doesn't want to take it off.
It's so sad. I know. I hate hearing about this. I hate hearing about it even more because there has to be some way to get them in the U.S. I know that sounds ridiculous, but
I know.
It just seems so cruel to pick them out of the slums, give them a little taste of, you know, what it's like to be in the U.S., give them a tiny bit of money, and then throw them back.
Now, the thing is, we're not throwing them back. Like, I didn't do anything.
Right.
But let's say Danny Boyle, right? And Danny Boyle got the little girl a bunch of dresses, okay? You know, so that's something. She said, "Oh, Uncle Danny Boyle got me like 5 dresses, 7 shoes, or something like that." So she's got that in her back pocket, right? For whatever that's worth. And then they say that the kids have an education fund when they turn 18. They're going to put them through school until 18, and then afterwards have the fund that could provide for their education beyond that. But one of the kids' dads has tuberculosis, but he's also an alcoholic. And he says, the money later doesn't do me any good. I want the money now. Now, you see, if I'm Danny Boyle, I'm torn on that. Because, yeah, I mean, does this kid really have to wait to 18 to not live in a shack? Maybe, you know, and they paid him, don't get me wrong, and they paid him 3 times the average salary of someone in that area, which isn't very much at all.
$20.
Right, okay. So they've set up some funds for them, and they've done some good things for them. And do they really have a responsibility to take care of them for the rest of their lives?
No, they don't.
And if you give the money now, you think the dad isn't going to drink away a lot of it?
No, the money should not be given to them now because that money is never going to be in their hands. It's going to be their father's money. The father's going to take the money, and yeah, they run the risk of having their father spend it on booze. So
right, so you can't pick them out and bring them to America and say, "Congratulations, you won the America lottery." It doesn't work that way. And you can't give them the money now, but at the same time, just leaving them in that condition seems absurd. You know, I guess partly because they had a taste of something different. So, you know, I think probably the best way to go is set them up in a small apartment in Mumbai somewhere, you know, for those 3 families and provide enough money for the rent until the kids turn 18. And that's a lot of money, and I'm not sure, it's not a lot of money, but it's some money, and I'm not sure they're going to want to go that far. But I feel like the filmmakers have some responsibility towards these kids. I mean, look at them wearing their Oscar clothes in the slums. It's crazy. So that's my solution. I don't know if it's fair, I don't know if it's right, but that's the first thing that jumps in my head. They got to do a little more for these kids. I'm not saying go crazy and be like, "Oh, okay, here, have all this money to their parents," but something. And the Indian government too. They're considering moving at least the kid whose house is going to get demolished into an apartment, maybe the others as well. That's not a bad way to go, at least for publicity's sake. I mean, everybody's looking at these kids now throughout the whole world. If you're the Indian government, it's pretty smart to move them to an apartment. Just put some thought behind it. All right. We try to resolve all conflicts here on the Young Turks.